Yeah.
Rapper, businessman, father. With his unusual and original voice and real talk lyrics that people can relate to, young Jeezy is quickly becoming a sensation in the hip-hop world. Here is the story of the Mega Million, multi-platinum selling recording artist. While the rest of the country celebrated Columbus Day on October 12, 1977, the Jenkins family welcomed their first son, Jay. Born in Columbia, South Carolina, and raised in Hawkinsville, Georgia, a small town outside of Atlanta, Jeezy didn't grow up in the lifestyle he's now come to know. With his dad gone, it was just Jeezy, his younger sister, and their mother. They moved around Atlanta often, living in one-bedroom apartments and staying with cousins. Moving all around town may not have been a stable life for Jeezy, but it set him up for his future. Since everyone on the streets already knew Jeezy's cousins, they got to know him as the Little Cuz. Being acquainted with the streets on the east side, west side, and south side gave him street credibility and would actually help popularize his music. Although Jeezy didn't come from much money, poverty was no way of life for the future rap star. He did what he had to make money, including dealing drugs, which earned him the nickname the Snowman, snow being slang for cocaine. This nickname would follow him into his music career and create controversy. Jeezy decided to put his drug dealing days behind him, but he wasn't through making money. At 19, he used his keen business sense and started Corporate Thugs Entertainment with good friend Demetrius Ellerby, better known as Kinky B. The two, who met at a boot camp for troubled youths, considered themselves brothers from another mother. As if Jeezy wasn't busy enough signing artists to his own label, he also promoted Cash Money Records. But it wasn't long until things started going downhill. Some of the artists signed to his label went to jail on murder charges, and another one was killed, leaving him with no talent. But Jeezy wasn't going to sit back and watch his label crumble. Taking matters into his own hands, Jeezy started rapping and hasn't stopped since.
So articulate with his lyrics. I like the way he puts his words together. I mean, he's kind of different to me because, like I say, he puts his word in a way that other artists don't put their words. I mean, I like his style.
Jeezy struck out on his own with the solo Come Shop With Me, which sold more than 50,000 copies independently and set the stage for his major label deal with Def Jam, the company made famous by founder Russell Simmons.
What I like about Jay and Jeezy is he's real, I feel his rhymes because, I'm from the same hood, even though I'm from the same neighborhood, we still from the same hood, we all connected. It's something I see every day, He doing something that's getting God, getting talent, he's doing the best he can do, like that, Other brothers shoot basketball, other brothers play tennis, he rhymes, do his thing.
In an interview with online magazine ballerstatus.net, Jeezy said that he later couldn't stand Come Shop With Me, but that album was about where he was at that time in his life, and it was actually a blessing because it got him a lot of performances and a manager. Jeezy may have been a hit on the streets with his mixtapes, but he couldn't convince radio stations to play his music. It wasn't until another music mogul, Sean Puffy Combs, known as P. Diddy, who knew about Jeezy's street credibility, decided to get involved. He asked Jeezy to join fellow rappers Jody Breeze, Big G, and Duke to form Boys in the Hood, a group Jeezy would later leave after releasing only one album.
I first Young Jeezy as a solo artist with Boys in the Hood. On that song that came out with Puffy, he was a hot thing on there. Ever since then, you never heard of the Boys in the Hood. You know who they are now. I can't name two of the members besides him.
Even though Jeezy was working on his solo album at the time, Always the Businessman, he joined the group, looking at it as a power move. Jeezy said, "Everybody knows Puffy is going to make you a star."
As part of Boys in the Hood, I consider Young Jeezy not really part of Boys in the Hood. The group, I'm not too fond of. I mean, they're a great group. Of course, Diddy behind it. I feel that Jeezy is better off as a solo artist. I feel like he's when he stepped out of Boys in the Hood, and you can see the actual talent in Jeezy than being a part of it.
There's no doubt about that. He helped me get through a lot of doors. The whole thing with Boys in the Hood was a win-win situation.
I think Young Jeezy music is definitely appropriate for kids and young adults. You know what I mean? Some of the things he says, like you said, he's a motivator. He's a motivational speaker. And if he can get an artist who speaks on a positive term, speaks, positive hip hop, rap positive hip hop, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Yeah, you have to listen to it.
He's referring to the fact that radio stations would invite the group to come on air and not Jeezy. P. Diddy came to Jeezy's defense and told him that if Jeezy couldn't be there, then neither could the rest of the Boys in the Hood, because Jeezy was a part of them. Eventually, the radio stations caved, and Jeezy's music has been on the radio since.
I would like to see Jeezy back for Boys in the Hood because there was a good collaboration of the artists.
2005 proved to be a good year for Jeezy. As a member of the quartet Boys in the Hood, their self-titled album that was released in June peaked at number 5 on the Billboard 200 album chart.
I prefer him to be a solo artist all the way because he's just so tight. He just overpowered the rest of the group. The old group. What was it called? Boys in the Hood. Now I like him better.
Almost a month later, Jeezy's solo release, Let's Get It, Thug Motivation 101 came out. Laced with references to dealing drugs and life on the wrong side of the streets, the album went double platinum.
What I like about Young Jeezy is that he's very ambitious, that he's very motivated. He always wanted to do the music, and he finally did, and he's doing great. As we can see from all his records he is selling. So that's what I really like about him. He never gave up, even he was going through a hard time. So, and this makes him kind of special, or it makes him a good musician.
Jeezy insisted that Let's Get It is more about moving and inspiring his listeners. I definitely believe in the thug motivation movement, he said. It's to get people through their day, and that means a lot to me.
My favorite song from Jeezy's album is going to be My Hood, or I think it's called Thug Motivation 101. Thug Motivation 101.
In the song, Let Me Talk to Him, Jeezy apologizes for many of the wrongs in his life while attempting to set the next generation straight about the dark side of life and the traps. He said he lost a lot of people he looked up to who bought him school clothes and other things, and they're the reason he's where he is today.
Young Jeezy inspired me in many ways. One way, coming up from poverty in the hood to basically making rounds, being in the entertainment industry. I mean, it takes a lot. I mean, the guy could actually been selling drugs, stay selling drugs, but he puts that to the side, focus more on something positive, and that's getting to the entertainment industry. But it took a lot. It took time. It took patience. It took time to just set aside the drug business and just say, well, let me focus on something more positive, of a positive career.
Jeezy's solo release features cameos from other top rap artists like Jay-Z, with whom he collaborated on a remix of Go Crazy. Jeezy also worked with T.I., Trick Daddy, Juvenile, and Bun B on the album, and top director Hype Williams shot some of his music videos.
I like his writing style. He has a very deep voice, and I don't know, he just kind of goes along with the different music pretty well. It's weird fluent music, so when I DJ it comes out as one, large dance track where nothing distracts from the beat of the music, so people just like dance well.
Critic Khalifa Saneh of the New York Times praised his album, saying, "Young Jeezy's sluggish rasp evokes both a ruthlessness no one can touch and a wariness no one can cure."
I give him just credit that he's made it to where he is, and I wish I could be in his shoes.
Another critic said his solo release was very strong overall, with contributions from Lil Jon, Manny Fresh, Pharrell, and Jazzy Faye. Jeezy's wordplay shows his creativity, skill, and great potential. Maybe in his future albums, Jeezy will show us a larger scope of lyrical content because it seems like he has a lot more to offer.
I actually like the song Go Crazy because there's a lot of beat going on, and it's very nice when you get into the dance floor. So I like the rhythm, I like the beats, and yeah, Go Crazy is actually my favorite song.
People must have been listening to the music critics. Let's Get It sold almost 172,000 copies in its first week and claimed the number 2 spot on Billboard's Top 200.
First album, that's my favorite one, and my favorite cut is And Damn Good.
I like him as a person. I like Young Jeezy as a person. I feel like if I got to know him, he'd be a cool person to hang out with. I relate to some of the stuff that he's been through.
Jeezy fever seemed to be catching on everywhere. In December 2005, the rapper was photographed in Rolling Stone magazine. He worked with superstar Mariah Carey on a remix of Shake It Off, and Dr. Temperance Brennan, a fictional character featured on the hit Fox TV show Bones, was shown listening to his single Soul Survivor.
I can't sleep. We live in hell. I'm a survivor. Yeah. Cause I'm a rider. That's my favorite song, Soul Survivor, from Young Jeezy, featuring Akon. It's a hot joint, man. They did together, a hot single, and I definitely love that song. I could feel it when the two did the collabo. My favorite, I'm a survivor.
That's why I got my ringtone right here. I'm not really good with names, but so cue it up for me. So it's hot right here. I love this right here. Yeah, we gotta be dope boys, so I can get that ringtone.
But not everyone was singing Jeezy's praises. His ex-bandmate, Jody Breeze, criticized Jeezy in Ozone magazine for not supporting their Boys in the Hood release. Jeezy, never the one to back down, wasn't going to let Breeze have the final say. He stated that he was contracted to release only one album and he never intended to continue with the group. If this was the case, then Jeezy stayed true to himself.
I like Young Jeezy as a solo artist because I never really listened to the music to Boys in the Hood. So I can't really make any comparison. But since I've listened to his new album, so I really like it. There are really good songs on it.
For those people who can't get his music, like Prisoners, Jeezy's writing a motivational book called Thug Motivation 101. The book, which is a spin on his album, will act as a core study for those trying to make a better life for themselves. Jeezy is the first one to admit that he's no rapper. I'm not a rapper. I'm a motivational speaker. I just know how to make sense with my words. Well, going by the success of his albums, he's doing something right.
From as a solo artist. I think he has more creative license right now. He can do a lot more collaborations. The music I play, he's usually doing the duet with someone else. So he's not stuck to his album music.
Could it be that a lot of his success has to do with the fact that he was on the scene and the stuff he talks about is real, and he knows this because he's done it all?
Well, I want to say he could be a preacher. I mean, that'll take it out of hand. You can't say Jeezy can be a preacher. You have to just say he's a hip hop motivational rapper, like what he said he is. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Another reason for his success is word of mouth. Jeezy stated, "It's the biggest promotion you can get, and it's the key to moving a lot of units in the streets." But Jeezy hasn't gotten to the top by going with the flow. Even though many artists have found success in their record sales by displaying lavish lifestyles in their music videos and in magazines, Jeezy's rise to the top has been by doing just the opposite. He strips away the glamour and shows listeners the other side, the real side, because everybody ain't living like that, he says. Where there's money, there's bound to be legal battles. In October 2005, Jeezy was ordered to turn over his financial records during a child support hearing. Nicole Dykes, his ex-girlfriend and the mother of his 9-year-old son, Jurdius, asked for more money, claiming Jeezy's income had dramatically increased since their 2001 child support ruling. The 2001 ruling established Jeezy as Jurdius' father, and he was ordered to pay $178 a month in child support. Fast forward 4 years, his ex demanded more than $20,000 a month in expenses for clothing, transportation, and housing.
The mother wants more child support, and it's actually kind of hard question because you have to ask first what the kid really wants or really needs. And I think it's more important that the kid gets the attention of his daddy. And so, I mean, of course, money is important to let the kid go to school later on, and but the most important thing is that that the daddy is there for the kid. I think this is what kids care about, that the daddy is around and not the money. So, but it's good to put money aside for college or whenever the kid needs something that is there.
But Jeezy wasn't about to give in. In court depositions, he denied owning his house, car, and jewelry. But Dyke's lawyer was quick to point out Jeezy's diamond-encrusted snowman pendant and the platinum success of both his Boys in the Hood album and his solo release, Let's Get It. Jeezy's lawyer fired back, claiming that Jeezy was no longer the owner of Corporate Thugs Entertainment, the company he started with his friend Kinky B.
Hell no. She wasn't there writing the lines. She wasn't there doing none of that, I know she, no doubt she can take care of the seed, but she ain't there on stage, she not putting the work in. Hell no. She go get a job, be a rapper or something, make a single, get her money that way, do something.
Unfortunately, the law wasn't on Jeezy's side. In November 2005, a Houston County Superior Court judge temporarily ordered Jeezy to pay his former girlfriend $1,400 a month in child support, which was 10 times more than the amount he agreed to pay in 2001.
Actually, it would depend because I don't know the circumstances of young Jeezy's not paying enough money, and that is his biological child. Yes, you know, the child deserves so much money. I mean, how limited does it need to be for a child? I don't know the circumstances. If she's getting a lot and she just wants more, you know, it depends. You know, you should just be greedy. But if it's for the child, it's going directly to the child's college fund. Expenses, sending the best schools right now.
This amount was based on his monthly income of $15,000, the $270,000 he has in the bank, and about $50,000 in jewelry. But the rapper claimed that his record label provided his house, car, and clothes, and that his royalties had yet to come through. Still, Jeezy isn't out of the woods yet, since the new payment schedule is only temporary. Jeezy may have to shell out more money at a future date. Jeezy and his ex also reached a temporary agreement on both visitation rights and their son's inheritance. The judge overseeing this case urged both parents to work things out for their child's sake, but things could get ugly if it goes before a jury. The child support hearing was just the beginning of Jeezy's legal woes. Growing up around shootings and gang violence, Jeezy was no stranger to this life. Even though it's not something he enjoys talking about, he admits to doing some time as a teen. Unfortunately, his run-ins with the law weren't behind him. According to county records, Jeezy was arrested in Miami-Dade in the summer of 2005, but the outcome of that case was unclear. His next run-in occurred on Friday, March 10, 2006. The 28-year-old rapper was arrested and charged with 2 counts of carrying a concealed weapon without a permit following an alleged shootout in South Beach, Florida. According to published reports, an eyewitness videotaped a fight Jeezy and 2 of his friends were involved in at 5:30 a.m. When the witness refused to hand over his video camera of the footage, shots were fired. The rapper and his friends fled the scene in 2 SUVs, but were later apprehended by police officers who found 2 guns, one of which was under Jeezy's seat. Thankfully, no one was injured. Jeezy's lawyer, John Freeman, said that Jeezy was stopped for no reason and his innocence will be proven at the appropriate time. The verdict isn't out yet, but Jeezy could face up to 10 years in prison if he's convicted.
I don't think going to jail, period, is good for nobody. All it does is make you a big criminal. In 10 years, shit, people on Wall Street and rob Enron and rob people millions and millions of dollars, they got a couple of days and a little spank in the butt. So I don't think that's fair right there.
The irony to these arrests is that Jeezy prayed to stay out of jail in his hit song Soul Survivor. Hopefully, he'll turn to this song for inspiration and stay out of trouble once and for all.
Yeah, I heard about the shootout in Florida, and I think if someone does a mistake or is acting against the law, then they should, stand up for the mistakes and failures. And so if he's guilty, then yes, of course he has to go to court, because it doesn't, just because he is a well-known person, he's a celebrity, it doesn't mean that he, can get away with it if he does something wrong. So I think if he's guilty, then he should go to jail, even if it's 10 years.
I think 10 years is too much time because of our political backdrop right now. There are a lot of assholes in our administration. They're getting moved a lot, and I think it would be too much for a hip-hop artist to go away, because it's comparative. What's he going away for versus, political figures today getting away with shit. So yeah, I think it would be too much for him.
Taking over the music world wasn't enough for Jeezy. He also made a fashion statement with his signature Snowman t-shirts. The tease resulted from his nickname, the Snowman, which he was referred to when he was a cocaine dealer.
No, it's a difference between Frosty the Snowman and being Jeezy the Snowman. It's a difference.
It all started in early 2005 when Jeezy and his music label Def Jam handed out the tease to promote his latest album, Let's Get It, Thug Motivation 101. In an interview with MTV, Jeezy said, "Snowman is cool. It symbolizes a young hustler. Whatever you do, be the best at it, because that's what the Snowman is going to do."
Snowman, from what I've heard, like the dope man. The dope man. To me, his slogan, slang, basically it's just maybe that's just what he believes in as being the kind of guy who I'm a dope man. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to say I'm a dope slanger, but I'm just a dope man, as in his hip hop term. I'm hot. I'm dope.
Even though the tees were mostly bootleg, this didn't upset Jeezy. He said, "If the hood likes it, I love it."
Jeezy Snowman t-shirts I think they're tight. I don't think people know what's going on in the world. Kids know what's going on in the world. They see it on TV. They see it in their neighborhoods where they grow up at or whatever. So it ain't like he's exposing something new to them and it's just negative. It's not. It's what's going on. He's showing you what's going on. So what you gonna do? Try to hide it?
But not everyone liked the Snowman t-shirts. School officials immediately banned the tees because of their drug dealing implications. The term, the Snowman, dates as far back to the 1980s when the Timothy Hutton, Sean Penn movie, The Falcon and the Snowman was released.
What does the Snowman t-shirt imply to me? I think it's just a shirt, there are a lot of different types of censorship going on. It's just a snowman on a shirt. I think if you think it means that you should do lots of cocaine, well then you're not very smart. I think everyone should be smart enough to see what's needs to be censored and what needs not to be censored, and it's just a shirt. A snowman's a snowman. Yeah, he's a little angry, but doesn't mean anything.
The educational system wasn't the only one to ban the tees. Hip-hop fashion company Miss King Originals stopped production after discovering the meaning of the t-shirts.
It does offend me. Be open-minded. I know the snowman, typically represents, but everyone has their own spin on what it can mean. Probably not the best thing for 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds, but I don't know how many of them associate snowman with jokes anyway.
Miss King owner Yaniv Zakin said he never saw the street react so strongly to a t-shirt, and then he was told it was because the Snowman was actually a guy selling cocaine on the streets. Once he found this out, he had Miss King artists add the phrase "say no to snow" to the remaining tees. But shortly after, Zakin decided to halt production altogether.
The snowman tease doesn't really offend me. I think it's a pretty cool design, but we also have to be careful because not everybody knows about what it means, like it implicates cocaine, drugs, and whatever. So, I mean, of course, kids they wear it because they think it's cool, but they have to be careful not that other people get offended by it. So, it's a nice design, but I wouldn't wear it, to be honest.
Miss King thought it was doing the right thing by discontinuing the tees, but not everyone saw it that way. In a message board on hip-hop fashion site urb1.com, people felt Miss King was the one who lacked good judgment. One fan of the Snowman tees said, I can't believe the public would even believe for a second Miss King didn't have a clue what this t-shirt was. And on top of that, the new owners of Miss King stole the clothing line from its original owners and have prevented the growth of some positive designers from the urban community.
I think it's something that to tease though. It's just a symbol. It's like American flag, something different. Like it all depends what you think about it, Just something different, A symbol of who he is. It's like that's where he came from. That's what he done. He trying to show people something different, Get out the hood, I ain't mad. Hey, do what you need to do. As long as I ain't hurt nobody, I'm with it.
Even URB1 founder Roderick Rainey sided with Jeezy. He said Mesquine made a huge error in judgment because the snowman logo didn't encourage people to become drug dealers so they could afford the luxuries money buys, but to stop procrastinating and to go about your business to get that money.
The snowman, the thing I think is funny, it's cool, it's catchy. I don't think people is too uptight to even listen up. It's cool.
Jeezy believed the negative press he received about the snowman tees from media outlets such as CNN and USA Today were uninformed and one-sided in their reporting. Jeezy said, "The snowman is my alter ego. I made it out of the hood. I'm not a rap star. I'm not a superstar. I'm a trap star. That's who I am. The snowman is the only thing we have that belongs to us. In the hood, it stands for the fact that he's just like me. He is what I am."
I think Jeezy's music appropriate for all ages because little kids see everything, they know everything.
But Jeezy wasn't ready to say goodbye to the snowman. In early 2006, he came out with the new snowman t-shirts that read, "You can't ban the snowman." Thanks to his fans, it looks like the snowman is here to stay. Of course, every superstar had someone they looked up to growing up. This was no different for Jeezy.
I think he's a role model to many kids and people because he's very ambitious. He had a goal and he's very motivated, so you can see that when you have a goal that you can. But on the other side, I don't think that selling drugs, you don't have money, you always can find a job, another job where you can make money, you don't have to like live life. So that's why in one case I think he is a role model for a lot of teens, for a lot of kids, for a lot of people because he made it, even he didn't have money when he was a child.
With the lack of parental guidance in the home, rappers have filled the void created by absentee mothers and fathers. Jeezy knows this firsthand. He said artists like Pimp C, UGK, and No Limit raised him. So it was no surprise that he came to Rap-A-Lot's defense when they were criticized for releasing Pimp C's album without his consent while serving a jail sentence. Jeezy said that the public needs Pimp C right now. He listened to his every word growing up, and he wants the new generation to hear Pimp C's words also. Some of Jeezy's other favorite rappers include Jay-Z, 8 Ball, MJG, and Tupac Shakur. When I heard Pop, I felt like he was looking in my window at night. I feel like I'm cut from the same cloth. His song, Talk to Him, rings true with unsettling tales of life on the mean streets. Jeezy never had the chance to work with Tupac, but he did get a chance to work with Jay-Z on Go Crazy. He says working with Jay-Z was a positive experience because when older cats talk, it's best you listen, and that's how I came up, even in the streets. I did less talking and more listening. With a cat like that, that's part of the game, and then you know what he's done, you definitely want to listen to him more than talk.
I think he's a role model because he came from nothing from something, He done his best. Jeezy given, he used them talents and did what he had to do, you know. But anybody else should, you know, do what you need to do to put you out there.
Jeezy has become a role model himself. He uses his music to teach the young generation about the importance and value of hard work, honesty, and self-reliance. He says there's a negative influence that gangster rap has on today's youth. Everybody's gangster until they get incarcerated. I got to ease the truth into them. Ain't nothing like having everything and knowing it could all be taken from you the next day, along with your freedom.
So I think Young Jeezy is a role model. It depends. It all depends on it all depends on the individual. It's how you perceive the person. I mean, you can become a drug dealer and change your persona, change your ways, which actually people can, you know, say, well, okay, this guy went from a good guy, from a bad guy, transform himself to a good guy. So, which means you can actually take that as, you can take that two ways. Like, can I follow a guy that did bad things and use him as an example or a leader? Or should I just forget the past and try to focus on the present?
Jeezy said that he doesn't make music for the clubs, but for the struggle. He makes music for the everyday man and for the kids who have no sense of direction. He's trying to restore some morals back into the game as far as the streets go.
Do I think young Jeezy is a role model, even though he used to make his living selling drugs? Not really. I think anyone can be a role model. In these days of entertainment, I think everyone should be allowed a second chance to make their money and do well in life. No matter what your past used to be like, the future is where it's happening.
Jeezy has no doubt that he relates to his fans. He says that when the fans recite his words while he's performing, he knows they feel where he's coming from. He can see it in their eyes that they respect him.
Yes, I think Jeezy is a role model because he used to deal drugs. I mean, everybody has a past. Now he's doing something positive.
Yeah, I think Young Jeezy is, to get where he is today, I think basically that I would consider him a role model.
I think that Young Jeezy, he was seen as a strong role model. When looking from the perspective that he came from a situation where his parents used drugs, he was able to play the game and get what he wants. Basically, come out on top.
I think Young Jeezy money is a pro because there's nothing they haven't seen already. These cartoons be killing people, sex, everything. It's not nothing they haven't seen anywhere, you know. So I don't think they ain't different, ain't worse than they can't get their mom and dad or whatever, their friends, all I'm saying, you know. You're gonna hear it somewhere.
I think some of the songs that are not appropriate to children, especially the song Tear It Up, because it's a very sexual song. So that's why maybe parents have also to be careful when kids, or especially children like younger teenies, that when they're listening to music. Because kids, they always look up to celebrity, up to rappers, and they take them as an idol and try to copy them. So that means, for me, I think not everything is appropriate. You know, that children can listen to it.
I don't think it's appropriate for children. There are a lot of adult themes and the pop culture. Sex, which could contain violence, just could contain adult things like as far as living. I don't think young children can understand. Teenagers, you can't hide it from them. So I would wait till they're older until they have the capacity to make a choice of understanding what it is instead of like having it imposed on them because they don't know any different.
Being at the top means there's always someone trying to bring you down.
Ooh, that's a hard one right there. You know, I give it up to X, you know, my man, but now he's kind of soft, you know, he done went into the movies, he done TVs. I ain't mad at him though, but his street cred ain't up there no more. DMX, the street ain't there no more, you know, he need to stick to movies, you know, live his afterlife, you know, do what you need to do, you know, Young Jeezy, young hot thing out right now. Right now, I just say Young Jeezy, you know, he's hot, he's going, you know, he doing his thing.
There was a rumor that DMX insulted Jeezy when he appeared on BET's 106 in Park in July of 2005. After the video for And Then What by Jeezy and Manny Fresh ended, DMX looked straight into the camera with a big smile and said, "That was the number 6 video, Young Cheesy."
If Jeezy and DMX was to go at it, I'd go for DMX because he has longevity and he'll murder Jeezy. That's point blank period.
At first, guest host Big Tigger laughed it off, but when he told DMX that Jeezy and Manny Fresh were scheduled to stop by 106 the next day, DMX sarcastically replied, "Oh, you said Young Jeezy? I thought you said Young Cheesy." And then he chuckled to himself.
Well, DMX don't have any reason. There's no jealousy behind it. DMX can't be jealous of Young Jeezy, right? I mean, for calling him cheesy, you know what I mean? An artist like DMX have proven himself to be one of the top artists in the hip hop game. He has the money, he has the fame, I've done movies. Jeezy is an up and coming artist, so therefore taking shots at Jeezy must have been more than just. It probably had to do with something personal. Had to be personal. But if there was to be a fight, I would actually be on DMX side. I like X when he came out, just hot as hell, dope. So I have to go with my man X. If it was a beef versus Jeezy and DMX, X, love you, I'm with you.
Even though Jeezy never heard the supposed insult, he received a call from DMX's people apologizing. Still, Jeezy only had good things to say about DMX. DMX is a pioneer. He opened up a lot of doors for a lot of people.
The beef. If DMX and Young Jeezy had a beef, from what I heard on the BET 106 in Park, I think DMX took a shot at Jeezy, which is, you know, actually that's wrong. I mean, you can't diss a guy like that, especially when his video's being played. Never diss the guy. But that's hip hop. Sometimes, you know, hip hop can get out of hand.
Neither one of them, they don't need to be fighting. They need to be somewhere trying to make some money. Okay. What Jeezy is doing, DMX had his turn, now it's Jeezy's turn. Sit back and relax, DMX. It's okay. Let the brother shine.
What about the rumors of Jeezy having a fallout with his former bandmates? Rumors had circulated for quite some time, but it became official in April 2006 that Jeezy was out and Lil Wayne was in as the newest member of Boys in the Hood. According to Russell Block Spencer, founder of the group and of Block Entertainment, there was no bad blood between Jeezy and the rest of the group. He said, "It's not a replacement, it's a continuance. Jeezy only signed on for one album, and this is the way it was set out to be when it was first started." Block also insisted that rapper T.I. signed on as well, even though Atlantic Records denied the claim about their artist. Ironically, T.I. was one of the original members of Boys in the Hood, which included Trick Daddy and Sean Paul of Youngbloods, before they were replaced by the current members. Jeezy also made headlines over a rivalry with rapper Gucci Mane over their hit single, Icy. There was a disagreement over the rights to the song when the single was released. Since then, the feud has escalated, with both rappers releasing singles attacking one another. As the quote made famous by the Spider-Man comics, "With great power comes great responsibility," Jeezy can attest to this statement. In 2005, Jeezy opened his home to the Hurricane Katrina victims, He provided shelter to complete strangers who lost everything in one of the worst natural disasters in American history. If that wasn't enough, he got David Banner, T.I., and Atlanta music magazine editor Juice to head a drive to fill a dozen 18-wheel trucks with supplies to take to the victims. As one of the heads of the drive, Jeezy urged Atlanta residents to donate necessities such as water, canned goods, clothes, baby formula, and diapers. These supplies will go to the survivors of Hurricane Katrina in Alabama, Mississippi, and New Orleans. Jeezy's also doing his part to increase literacy with his soon-to-be released book, Thug Motivation 101. The book will encourage and challenge the notion that children don't read. According to the United Nations, 860 million adults worldwide are illiterate, and over 100 million children do not attend school. Jeezy said the problem is that kids pick up magazines and look through them, but they don't actually analyze the articles because they're not interested in the subject. When kids are interested in what they're reading, they'll sit down and take the time to go over it thoroughly. Jeezy feels his book will give him the chance to speak to a different audience at greater lengths. He says that he can only say so much in his songs, but he can go into details with his book, which is both inspirational and a survival guide because it's tough in the real world. What's next for Jeezy? If you miss seeing him in a group, look for him as part of United Streets Dope Boys of America, or USDA for short. This group, which includes Slick Pulla, Five Chief, and Big Dank, and of course Young Jeezy, are about to drop a street album.
Hey, kinda Young Jeezy, cause I'm a survivor, yeah.
Jeezy's also working on a new edition of Snowman tees. He's partnered with Jay-Z's Rockaware clothing line to create his own line called USDA, which stands for United Streets and D-Boy Apparel. He's writing a motivational and inspirational book and working on a new solo album, which he says will be better than his first. My first album is like one Friday out of my life. The second is going to be like one Saturday, and you know Saturday is always better than Friday. Here's some hip-hop trivia about Young Jeezy that you may not know. Did you know, contrary to popular belief, Let's Get It wasn't Jeezy's debut solo album? Going by the name Lil J, in 2001, the hip-hop artist released Thuggin' Under the Influence. Did you know, Jeezy prefers a studio album to mixtapes? He said, on mixtapes, you can't really give people who you are. I think people will really relate to the album Let's Get It. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear because it sounds good. I'm going to give it to you raw. Did you know, Jeezy doesn't deny his association with the infamous Black Mafia family, who has been under investigation by the FBI for organized crime and for their association with the Crips, another gang. Although Jeezy maintains his association with the group, so far he has not been part of any investigation. Did you know the 2002 film Paid in Full, which promotes car thieves, is one of Jeezy's favorites because he likes movies where the bad guys win? Maybe you heard Jeezy has been linked to R&B sensation artist Keisha Cole since the 2005 Vibe Award, where they both won the Next Award. They announced on MTV that they were not involved, and talks about a romance with just a rumor. In February 2006, fans got a taste of Jeezy at the Rap Bowl in Detroit, Michigan, when he performed with other Atlanta-based artists, which included Ludacris, who exploded onto the scene in the early 2000s, and the Atlanta six-piece Disturbing the Peace, who were proteges of Ludacris. Other performers included Juvenile, Joel Santana of Dipset, and Twista.
Like, keep going, Young Jeezy.
Finally, did you know his mixtape Trap or Die was inspired from being in the hood every day? He said, when you're in the hood, you're trapping, or you're grinding, or whatever. You gotta keep yourself entertained.
Yeah, because I'm a soul survivor. Yeah, that's it. We're going to cut.